Mum? What are you doing here?
The war on drugs is a failure, Corey. You gotta fix it. Maybe if something had been done earlier, I'd still be alive.
Yeah, right, I'll see what I can do about it.
Corey.
What?
There's something else.
What is it?
Do you have $2? I need it to feed my children.
Mum, I'm one of your children. We're all well fed. I'm too well fed.
I need $2 for the bus.
Why would a ghost need to catch a bus?
It's a ghost bus.
Oh, bullshit. It's for the drugs, isn't it, Mum?
Hi, I'm Corey White, three-time university dropout, ex-foster kid and former methamphetamine addict. I'm full of ideas about how to make Australia a better place. Here's one of them.
Come on now, it's all right with Corey White's roadmap to paradise.
Each year at 11, on the 11th of November, we commemorate Armistice Day and remember all those who died in war. But there's another war we don't commemorate, which has raged over decades, cost trillions of dollars and millions of lives. The war on drugs.
They told me good, they told me straight, stay away. Hey, I said they told me once, they told me twice.
Like every other war on something, the war on drugs has been a total clusterfuck. It's driven up drug prices, it's enriched criminal organisations, it's led to the creation of wildly unregulated substances, and it's jammed our prisons full of non-violent offenders. I believe the war on drugs doesn't actually do anything to stop people taking drugs. It didn't stop me from becoming an ice addict. With my own experience, I realised the truth about drug addiction. It starts out as a way to escape from life's problems, but then it becomes your biggest problem. It's like getting a tiger to get rid of a mouse. It's like when you first start watching porn, it's all innocent and fun. And then a few years down the track, the only way you can come is by watching a female bodybuilder punch an oak tree. That's addiction. Oh, and my mum really did die of a heroin overdose. That wasn't a comedy device. But I'm okay with it. Maybe too okay with it. Like, okay enough to have an actress play a dead ghost. As you do. Despite my mum injecting herself off this mortal coil, despite years of just say no to drugs campaigns, I said yes to drugs. Heaps. What kind of education program could have stopped me from doing drugs? Hey, I'm Corey.
Hi, kids. I'm Meth Monkey, and I'm going to visit my good friend Dingo the drug dealer. Hey, Dingo.
What's up,
Can I have one ice, please?
You still haven't paid me for the last batch, bitch.
But you know I'm good for it.
Do I look like a giant inflatable vagina?
No,
Then why are you trying to fuck me?
I don't understand.
I know you've talked to the police about me. You're a rat.
No, I'm not. I'm a monkey.
Don't be a fucking dumb. You're a rat, a snitch, and you're gonna pay.
What are you saying?
I'm saying this deal is done.
Please. Ow! Ow! Ow!
I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna kill your mum, your dad, your sister.
But please. Dingo. Can I have some meth before you go?
Don't do drugs, kids.
That was hilarious, as every anti-drugs campaign is. In 1985, the American Just Say No ads started a worldwide craze for expensive anti-drug campaigns.
Could you pass the salt, please, darling? Jason, the salt.
Campaigns like the Stoner Sloth ads are part of our government's not very successful multi-million-dollar strategies. I wasn't convinced to quit drugs by some sloth that clearly had no place in the human world to begin with. I quit because when I was an ice addict, I choked on a potato gem and nearly died. Drugs destroyed my life. I degraded myself for them. I lied to people I loved. And at my absolute worst, my rock bottom, I once performed at an amateur poetry night. Like Merlot and tobacco, life is an acquired taste.
Don't look down on yourself.
I think the only significant impact of these anti-drug campaigns is they put money in the pockets of advertising executives, which is ironic given the target market of many drugs. Despite the huge sums of money spent on the war on drugs, governments devote comparatively few resources to drug treatment programs or harm minimisation efforts. The bulk goes to law enforcement. Unfortunately, no matter how many giant hauls of ice or weed the Fed seize, no matter how much they attempt to eat into the supply of drugs, the demand for them doesn't change. We always hear about how many people drugs kill, but how many people do drugs save? How many people live lives of such overwhelming misery, the only glimmer of hope for them is that experience of bliss that only drugs can provide? I know personally, when I came out of foster care, I was so racked with trauma I could barely face what had happened to me. And I know that I totally would have put my head in an oven if I didn't have the weekend to look forward to where I could double and triple drop MDMA and chew acid. Those moments of transcendence, that precious relief from my own burdens and pain, were what kept me going. People take drugs despite the risk of ill health, jail, and death. Expecting them to just say no to drugs is as wrong-headedly gullible as thinking that if everyone smoked weed, there'd be no war. Besides, most of the reasons people say drugs should be illegal are caused by drugs being illegal. Like this anti-ecstasy ad. Made in a bathtub using drain cleaner, battery acid, or even hair bleach, then popped in your mouth. Ecstasy. Face facts. What facts? Like the fact that the only reason they're making it in a bathtub is because you won't let them make it in a laboratory with scientists named Craig instead of bikies named Stab Nugget, with test tubes instead of empty Vegemite jars? It's dangerous because it's illegal and not regulated. That would happen to any consumer product that you made illegal that people still wanted, like pies.
But Rhino, if we keep adding rat meat, we'll never win Best Pie from the Country Women's Association.
Fuck the Country's Women's Association! Those moles have been rigging that reward for years. Now, fucking do it!
Then they'd come out with this, sat on by chunky bikers, cut with rat meat, then popped in your mouth. Pies. Face facts. If you saw this, you'd just be like, decriminalise pies. They don't need to have rat meat in them. So is this the answer? Decriminalising drugs? What good would it do, apart from saving millions and millions of dollars and freeing up our legal and penal systems? I thought I'd talk to someone from Portugal, where they partially decriminalised drugs in 2001. Hey, Catarina. So how do you think decriminalisation has affected life in Portugal?
So in 2001, Portugal became the first country in the world to decriminalize the personal use of all drugs. Dealing and trafficking is still illegal, but individuals can possess some small amounts of drugs. The government invested some money in harm reduction programs, needle exchanges programs, treatment centers. It's important to understand that the focus here is not on treating drug addiction as a criminal issue, but as treating it as a medical challenge.
So what's it like going out on a Friday night? Are you able to just score drugs whenever you want?
It's funny because in one of the main streets in Portugal, there are these guys who approach you and they're like, do you want to buy some drugs? I see a lot of tourists going there. They think, well, maybe it's easy to buy drugs. Actually, the police, they were hanging a big sign saying, well, if you're buying drugs here, you're buying Bailey. You know how in Amsterdam you can smell weed everywhere, and it's not like that at all. We really, really dug deep into the psyche of drug addiction, and we understood it, and we took a different approach. And at the time, we were the first country to do it, and people thought, okay, they're losing it. People will start dying from overdoses. Everyone will start consuming. And that didn't happen. We know that now. I remember reading the New Yorker piece some years ago about this program in Portugal. Sure. And it ended on the perfect note. The reporter, he asks, these people, they are not happy or they're not overly excited. They just like live normal, methodical lives. And he said, normal is good. We don't want high expectations. Why would you want to get rid of all the problems all at once and cure everyone? That's not possible. We know that's not how a drug addiction works, right?
Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, all right, man. You want the chunky mushroom?
How much is it?
A prawn. Yeah.
Oh, that
Mate, you're going to be flying with that.
Thanks,
Enjoy,
fella.
man, yeah?
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
a good one. Let me know how it goes.
I will. I reckon there'd be some downsides to decriminalisation. A lot of bikies would have to go back to running 24-hour gyms. The drug-related law enforcement industry would shrink. Just imagine what would happen to drug sniffer dogs.
Sorry, Inspector Ecstasy, but I'm going to have to ask you to turn over your badge.
Portugal's experience suggests that decriminalisation can eliminate many of the negative effects of drugs. But I think we can do better. Because, illegal or not, there are downsides to drugs. They're addictive, they have shitty side effects, some can even kill you. Believe it or not, most drug addicts don't want to die of an overdose. They want to stay alive and keep doing drugs. So what if we could create better drugs that still provided the same euphoria and relief people take drugs for, but didn't have the shitty side effects? Things that eliminated a black market by being freely available, cheap, in plain packaging, in standardized doses. What if we really could create the perfect drug? It got me thinking, is anyone actually working on this? Yes, somebody is. The leader in this field is Professor David Nutt of Imperial College London. Hello, Professor Nutt, how are you?
Hi, good to see you.
So let's get right into it. Is there a perfect drug?
No, but we can certainly make safer variants of almost all the drugs that people are using today. My own particular interest, of course, is in the field of alcohol, where I have been working for over 10 years now, trying to find a less harmful alternative to alcohol, which wouldn't kill you an overdose if you got very, very drunk. You know, wouldn't cause hangover, wouldn't cause addiction. And we've made very good progress there. The challenge is, of course, getting society to accept it. We've been lied to for the last 70 years about the harms of drugs.
And what are those lies?
So the lies are, 1, that all drugs are harmful, except alcohol. 2, that we can get rid of drug use by prohibition. Those are the fundamental lies. And they've actually exacerbated the problem, driven up the black market, and have now contributed to hundreds of thousands of deaths worldwide, which were avoidable if we had more rational drug policies.
So, David, why do you think these two lies have become ubiquitous?
There's a lot of political capital in attacking people who use drugs because they don't vote. The media are largely run by people who want to control other people's behavior and oppress them. And it's because there's also quite a religious, moral majority that also are prepared to tolerate alcohol because it's used in the sacraments in church, but aren't prepared to tolerate other drugs. So it's a very powerful mixture of politicians, media, and the kind of religious right.
So what's your stance on illegal drugs?
I mean, I'm not in favour of anyone being able to walk into a high street shop and buy a gram of heroin. In terms of making other drugs, say, than alcohol and tobacco available for purchase, yeah, I'm in favour of a regulated market. I certainly believe in decriminalisation of all drugs for personal possession and use. So we've got to start being honest and properly scale the harms of drugs. And the ones that aren't that harmful should not be illegal.
Well then, thank you so much for your time.
It's been a pleasure, Corey.
So let's make better drugs. If we can put a man on the moon and develop vaccines for deadly diseases, surely we can make a less stabby version of meth. Trying to stop people ruining their lives with drugs is understandable, but the brutal policies are only making the situation worse. People are always going to want to escape with chemicals. Maybe it's time we stop trying to escape that reality.
That was the series final of Corey White's Roadmap to Paradise. Next week, it's all new Adam Hill's The Last Leg.